It was like...
You're mean! What's up, Wilbranders?
Hello, Wilbrand fam.
Weeby fam.
Today we're bringing you guys our birth and delivery story.
Not ours, Evan's birth and delivery story.
We suffered it. He was barely there, guys. Without further ado, let's get started.
Baby, who are you?
John C.
Baby, that was funny.
No, was it?
Are you sure about that?
Okay, so, excuse the roughness, guys.
Yeah, tell them why you look rough though.
Guys, if I look a little bit rough, it's because I actually had to get up at 6 in the morning to go to work today, Sunday, to just so that my week doesn't go as rough as it will, because I'm a little bit behind on work. So actually I have to step it up right now so that I can come home and vlog.
Vlog.
Yeah, so I actually came home a little bit ago and took a little nap, and Catherine was like, they keep asking for the birth delivery story. And I'm like, who? The Wilbranders.
The Wilbrand fam.
You. So actually,
I sounded like a firework.
you sound like a car. Okay, guys. So, you know, being Catherine, it had to be a super dramatic birth.
It was not dramatic, baby. Like, well, it was dramatic, but not because I wanted it to be dramatic, or because I was acting. I wasn't acting dramatic though. It was Evan. All right, guys. So let's start from the beginning. One day after my baby shower, I was gathering Evan's things to like get his side of our room together, because at that time we were living with my parents. And it was just one room, and it was like a tiny room. And I got a call from the office, like the doctor's office, and they were like, hello, is Kat there? Well, not Kat, but Catherine, right? And I was like, yeah, that's me. I wasn't rude, but you know, whatever. So I was like, yeah, that's me. And then she was like, oh, we need you to come in for a
checkup.
A blood pressure checkup. Yeah, that, I guess. A checkup, yeah.
Yeah, they were gonna check her blood pressure again. And now, at this time, you were how many weeks along?
I was 37 weeks. I just turned 37 weeks that day, that same day.
We were expecting a pretty normal pregnancy, actually. There's my side of the story. And this is how this part began. It was what day, babe?
I can't remember. Probably a Thursday?
It was Thursday. Thursday is like the hump day. That's like the middle of the week for me, for work. On Thursday, I got home like at 3 p.m. and that was me getting out early. So what I actually did was, since we were just going to a checkup, a blood pressure checkup, I decided to go to work without eating breakfast, without eating lunch, just getting all my work done and getting home to this nugget.
This nugget, baby!
My rascal. So I actually got home, and as I was serving my food,
like, this is no lie, guys.
Yes, like this is 100% sure, like true. Like, I was serving myself my food and everything at the table, and then Catherine is like, we have 10 minutes, we have to be at the appointment, we're gonna be back, because the hospital was like 5 minutes away from there, and we only had like 10 minutes left to get to the hospital.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, let me finish my food and I'll go. She was like, no, we have to be there on time, and all this and all that.
Keep in mind that when they called me on the phone, they told me if I could come in right away. But I was like, no, I can't. Like, there was nobody home to take me at all. And I didn't want to drive pregnant, so I was not going to go there. And I was scared that something like this would have happened too. Like, I was already 37 weeks, so I know from then on, like, anything can happen. So I didn't want to go alone, and they told me if I could go in at 4.
But honestly, we didn't know that anything could happen, because they had just told us that nothing like that was gonna happen.
Yeah, so
we show up to the hospital
at 4 p.m.
It was 3.
It was 4.
Oh no, I got home at 3. and then that.
Yeah.
So I have barely enough time to change. I put on some sweatpants and a regular shirt and my shoes and my socks or whatever, you know, I was ready. But so as we're driving over there, we're thinking, okay, what am I gonna eat when I get home? Like, we're starting to think of like fast food and all this stuff, and we're just like making plans of what to eat.
Yes, like right after the appointment, we had plans to like go. I think we had a plan to go to the movies too.
Yeah, we had like so many things planned out for the birth. I mean, not for the birth, but for our day. So actually, we get out to the hospital. Catherine gets a checkup, and I'm like, it's taking like 40 minutes, and I'm like, my stomach is like.
Yeah, but for them to call me, it took forever.
Yeah, like everything was taking forever. Every single thing, like they weren't caring at all. Like they already knew what they were gonna do, but little did we know.
Right, like we had no idea, honestly.
So this is what happened. They check up Catherine's blood pressure and they say, okay, it's what we expected. And
no, baby, that's too much far ahead.
No, okay, well I just don't want to make it too detailed. Should we make it too detailed?
I don't know, do you guys want detailed?
Make it detailed.
Comment below. I'm just kidding. You get it? Because they won't be able to comment.
They will.
Well, yeah, but... Okay, so they called me in to go into the office to go get my blood pressure checked. And she took my pressure and she was, oh my god, it's high. And I was like, what does that mean? Like, I looked at him and I was like, what does that mean? I didn't even know that that was something.
No. She didn't just say it was high. She said this is what we expected.
Well, yeah.
Because she had high blood pressure the last 3 appointments.
Yeah, and they didn't say anything to me, but I'm guessing that they do that because they don't want to worry mom or something.
Okay, so I was at the right track. This is what happens. They tell Catherine that her blood pressure it's high. We've stated that like 1,000 times already. So what is it called?
What?
Oh no, they have not told us yet what's going on. They just told us that she has high blood pressure. And they tell us, alright guys, we're gonna have to go talk for a little bit and we'll get right back to you.
Yeah.
So they leave for about 30 minutes. They come back.
And then they recheck it.
And they recheck her blood pressure to make sure that they got everything right. And they were like, yep, it only went down 1 point. It's still high. And I'm like, okay, what does this mean?
Yeah, and she warns us too that if it doesn't go down...
Yeah, if it doesn't go down, then it might happen. And I'm like, what might happen? So we're like nowhere, like our brains are not wrapped around that the baby was gonna be here.
Basically.
Yeah, so it's like, if you guys have gone through this, guys, you understand that this is a super hectic, out of this world. Not really out of this world, because it's in this world. But like it's like a really exhausting experience.
Yeah, especially because you weren't like mentally prepared for it.
So we have no idea what it is. They're just telling us that the baby might be coming already. So in our minds, okay, Catherine is gonna have to give birth. So she's gonna get induced.
Then after she checked my blood pressure, she said, okay, it's still high. And she was like, you're gonna have your baby today. And then I was like looking at Hyro, like, I was kind of excited that Evan was coming finally. Because this is like, you're waiting for this moment for like 9 months.
That was
pretty exciting. Well, for me, it was like 8 months because I was 3 weeks early.
Honestly, was happy inside, but I'm like, Kat, I have not ate anything at all. And I didn't bring my wallet. I didn't bring my phone. The only thing I had was the keys to the car with her, and she had nothing else. Because like I told you, we lived 5 minutes away from, not 10 minutes away from the hospital at that time. So this is what actually happens now. They transfer us up to the room where Catherine is going to be giving birth. On the way there, Catherine is like, tell my mom to bring my stuff because the baby's coming. And I'm like, alright, cool, I got this. Boom. Dial the number.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. And I'm like, speaking Spanish though, right? But I'm going to translate it for y'all. I'm telling her, okay, so y'all got to get your stuff together because the baby's coming. But I'm always joking around. So she's like, ha ha ha, that's not funny.
Don't play with something like that.
And I'm like, okay, why would I even play like that? Like, because they knew that it was just a checkup. And I'm like, okay. So are you guys coming or what? And they're like, stop playing around, put Catherine on the phone. At this point, I'm mad.
Plus, he didn't eat.
Plus, I didn't eat, you know? So I'm like, either you come, or I'm gonna go get the stuff later, but I can't leave Catherine alone. You either bring the stuff, or that's it. So she starts crying on the phone, and I'm like, why are you crying? Like, nothing is wrong, just bring the stuff. Bring the car seat, bring all of that stuff.
Yeah, because we didn't have anything.
Yeah. So here's the thing now. I call my brother, and I tell his wife that it's happening. Dude, stop playing like that. It's not funny. And I'm like, boom, hang up. I just hung up on them. Then I call my mom. Mom, it's happening. Ah, there you go again playing. I'm like, you know, that's what happens when you prank people too much. So, boom, hung up. I was not answering that phone for the rest of the day.
Yeah, and then
I could not care less if they were gonna miss the birth or not. So this is pretty much how they decided I was telling the truth. Her mom called my mom, and my mom called my brother, and then they all talked, and they were like, okay, what would he joke with all of us at the same time? So they like 3-4 hours later, they actually decided to show up. We're thinking Evan is actually coming that day. At that time, Evan was not coming that day. At that time, and this is what happens. We're sitting there. I have not ate anything at all. They don't bring me any of my stuff. They're not there yet or anything, and they're just getting Catherine hooked up like RoboCop into the bed. You know, they're strapping her down, and she's getting all them tubes and stuff inserted into her arms.
And they put the little thingies here to like hear Evan's heartbeat and how he was doing.
Yeah, and I'm still mad because I haven't ate, and I'm just chilling there, and they're like, okay, we're gonna have to induce the baby. So they give her like some
Pitocin.
Yeah, whatever that liquid does. Is the magic liquid that makes babies come out. So like it gives her contractions pretty much.
Yeah, makes you go into labor.
Next thing we know, so they're checking how dilated she is. They keep telling her, I don't understand none of this at all, like at all. They're telling her, okay, it's 1. Good job. You know, like an hour later, they're like, it's gonna be almost there. Don't worry. Like an hour later, they're like, okay, it's a 2. It's 2. It's all good, guys. Keep going.
Then like 6 hours later.
6 hours later is like a 3, and the lady keeps checking back and forth, and she's like, okay guys, it looks like we're having a little trouble. So they get this little balloon looking thing that they fill up with water, being dilated, like her things span more.
Yeah, to like make it open.
Yeah, more open. So they start doing that. After like another 3 hours with that freaking balloon inside of her, she is dilated to like a 4 still. So it's not working. Why? Because they said she was too stressed.
No, but that was like later on too.
It was like 9. No, it was like 8 p.m. already.
Yeah, but
it was like 8 p.m. and nothing was happening. And her parents finally got there, and they were asking us. They were mad at me. They were like yelling at me. They were like, why didn't you tell us? And I'm like, I did tell you guys. You guys just don't believe me.
Him and my dad got in a fight.
Yes, we got into a fight. Like, honestly, guys, I was about to go.
RKO, is that
yeah. They do not tell us what the heck is the condition that Catherine has, why she's going into labor, and why we have to deliver the baby as soon as possible. That's the main argument we're having with her parents, that we're misinformed, like we don't have all the information that we need to be fully knowledgeable of what's really happening.
Yeah, because basically they just said that I was going into labor because of my high blood pressure.
Yes, and we don't understand what that means. Like,
yeah,
why would she go into labor just because she has high blood pressure?
And I was in labor for 28 hours.
Yes, like that was like how long it took for Evan to come out. 28 freaking hours, guys.
It hurts so much.
But this is what happens. They realize that that balloon thing to dilate her more is not working. We reach some trouble, and then they take it out, and she goes after like 6 or 7 hours of that. They go and they're like, okay, you went from 4 back to 3.
Yeah, like how do you do that?
And we're just like, okay. So they give Catherine 3 options pretty much. Do you want to wait, just rough it out and just wait?
Which I did.
Which she was trying to do. Definitely. But then they tell her you can get the epidural, and it might make things easier.
Yeah, because like I guess it was because of Evan. Like Evan was the one that was stressed the most, and then I was stressed because he wasn't coming. So that's what made it more difficult, because Evan is the one who's like supposed to push through.
So Evan always being difficult.
Or they said that I could have a C-section.
Or a C-section.
So then the doctor comes in, and after I waited for so long and like Evan trying to come out, they were worried that Evan wasn't coming at the right time or like speed that he was supposed to, because they had broken my water already. So
yes.
So that would have been like the worst case scenario if like we didn't get him out in time, because
there had to be a C-section for sure after this. Like we only had like 2 hours to decide.
Yep.
And me and her dad are fighting over this. He's like, dude, why is my daughter in labor? I'm like, because she's pregnant.
You're mean.
But that's what I said, you know, because he was asking stupid questions, and I was like...
Everybody was stressed that day.
Yes, everybody was stressed, but here's the thing, though. We have yet to understand why we're there. So finally, like, and every time we ask the doctors, they think we're dumb, and that we're not going to understand what's happening, you know. But they just keep telling us, all you need to know is that you have high blood pressure. And I'm like, but why is it risky, and why are we giving birth today? We don't have to. So what is the condition that you could have had?
Okay, so they were worried that I was entering the stage of having preeclampsia.
Preeclampsia, right?
Yeah, that.
Preeclampsia, I don't know.
Preeclampsia.
Right here.
And we'll title it right here. Apparently that could be like really bad for like my kidneys. But it just sucks,
since we had no say on this, because they saw we were young, me and Catherine decided to talk about this with her mom, and we picked on the wisest option, which was the epidural. And then they gave us the warnings, and they were like, if anything goes wrong, she might not be able to walk. And I'm like, whoa, you didn't say that.
She did say that. I was so upset that I had to get the epidural, because
she was trying to be a trooper, guys. She was trying to go through with it without any.
No, but I was in labor for 27 hours, and then that last hour was when Evan...
Yeah, that was the birth of the last hour.
So it's like I had gone all that time for no...
Okay, so now we decided on the epidural. The lady comes in. We're waiting in the room, right? Her dad is kicked out of the room. I'm just there with her mom. And they put Catherine on the bed. Like, this is the bed. And Catherine is sitting right here looking this way, while the nurse is standing on this side. And they tell Catherine to bend over slide like forward. This. Like bend like this.
Yeah.
And as she gets treated like cattle, they like put an X on her back. And I see like the thing where they're gonna put the needle in. And I'm expecting just like a shot, but I had no idea that they have to put like a bag in there, or like, not like the liquid that goes in there or whatever, to numb her up.
I don't know, I was so tired I don't even remember that part.
So yeah, I'm looking at her from behind like this. Okay guys, since we don't have any props, I'm gonna use my hoodie. So let's say it was much thinner than this, guys. It was like this sideways, what they were gonna put in your back. I was expecting just one shot, but it was not a shot. And I just seen this thing go like a little poke, and I'm like, oh, that's it. And then the lady starts jamming that thing in there.
He started to cry.
As soon as I seen that, I was like, and my eyes just watered, and I was like, I couldn't speak because I was not expecting it at all. I was like, whoa. Trippy, man.
My mom started to cry too. Okay, so after that, it was pretty easy.
So Catherine is dilated at 6 finally. She has not reached that all day. Finally reaches a 6. Then 10 minutes later, it's like at an 8. I wanted to take a peek, but I was gonna be mentally damaged after that, guys. So I didn't take a peek yet. But I'm here fighting with her mom at this point, who's gonna cut the umbilical cord, and I was like, I'm cutting that. And I was about to RKO the woman that gave birth to her. Baby starts coming out a little bit.
That's how he looked.
This was it, guys. It was like.
You're mean. He didn't cry.
I know, but I'm moaning. It's like stop. No, look.
You're mean. I'm gonna cry.
No. That's how it was, though. That's how it was. Like, I cannot be making this up at all. Like, if you guys have gone through birth, And I just seen his little head go. And I'm like, I was disturbed.
Yeah, he was so
about to puke
ill.
when I seen that. My knees got weak, and I was like, but you can't skip these details, babe, because I saw this. So my knees got weak, and her mom held me. She was like, "Are you okay?" Guys, birth is not for everybody. I literally almost fainted. I'm like cheering on Kat now. I'm just like, "You can do this, babe." It's
How
horrible
long was I
down
pushing
there.
for?
Huh? You were pushing for like only 30 minutes. They gave me the scissors, and this was my experience cutting the umbilical cord, guys. I was like, they were like, "Cut it, you need to cut it fast," and I'm like, and it was like hard rubber. I was expecting it just to go through, and I'm like, I was just looking at Evan from there, and I'm like, I had to leave my baby to go see my real baby.
And they put him on my chest, baby.
Yeah.
He was such a beautiful baby.
He's always been beautiful, you guys.
Yeah,
honestly.
we're gonna put pictures of him at the end.
Yeah.
But he was just so cute. He was like full of all that mucus or whatever it's called, those liquids.
It was blood and stuff.
Yeah, but it was still. He was so gorgeous. He was born on June 13th, 2015, and my due date was July 2nd, was it?
It was July. It was
July
4th
2nd.
of July. Well, it was the 3rd of July, but we were expecting for the 4th.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so it was July 3rd, 2015. So I was 3 weeks earlier than expected. And he was born at 9:34 p.m. and he weighed 11 pounds, 10 ounces.
He did not weigh 11 pounds. He weighed
6 pounds.
What the heck did you give birth to? A watermelon? Get out of here.
I'm sorry. He was 6 pounds, 10 ounces. I don't know why I said 11, baby.
Because I was born. I weighed 11.
He was a fat baby. He was expecting for Evan to be like huge like he was.
And I was all natural, guys.
That was disgusting.
My mom, I don't know how I didn't rip my mom in half.
That was our labor and delivery story.
Yes. An even funnier story is our first night at the hospital with Evan. So if you guys want to hear the story of our first night as parents, comment below, guys.
Comment below.
And we might do it next week.
Or if they want to hear the story of how we are trying to conceive another baby.
We might do once a week story time.
That would be fun.
For Sundays.
Sunday story time!
It just happened, guys, right here on Woodman Vlogs. Hello, Woodman. See you guys later. Love you.